This Dundee team shows 3 changes. Out of the lineup which started at Pittodrie on Tuesday night are suspended James Grady, plus Stephen Boyack and the Spaniard Luna, who are on the bench. Sean McSkimming is injured. But back into central midfield, having recovered from injury, is Scotland under-21 international Gavin Rae. The defence is unchanged. Eddie Anand, a sub against Aberdeen, gets a start here. So does Spanish midfielder Javier Artero. Manager jockey Scott knew little about his signing, but wasn't complaining when he scored the winner in midweek. Kilmarnock, beaten by Motherwell last weekend, have 4 changes in their starting 11. Jim Loughlin's suspended, Christophe Kokar and Andy Smith are substitutes. Mark Riley will play no part. Sean Hesse is Loughlin's replacement in central defence. Ali Mitchell and Alex Burke should give Kilmarnock plenty width. Jerome Varai returns in attack alongside Paul Wright. Ian Durrant continues to be a key player for the Rugby Park side, and he's one of 4 contenders for Players' Player of the Year. The referee for Dundee against Kilmarnock is Hugh Dallas. The F word was banned in both dressing rooms pre-match. That's F for Falkirk, because of course if Falkirk finish in the top 3 in the First Division, relegation is not an issue, and neither of these 2 sides need be bothered. But meantime, they have to play on the basis that they have to leave Aberdeen behind in bottom spot. Driven downfield by Lee Madison and turned out of play by Sean Hesse. Willie Faulkner's flick cleared by Dundee, not convincingly. Back from Burke, and bags of time in the Tayside sunshine for Gordon Marshall. Gary Holt's flick, good control from Varai. Played forward by Paul Wright. Straight into the arms of Robert Douglas. Long ball from Barry Smith. And Willie Faulkner was fouled by young Hesse. It's Patrizio Bilio, the Italian, with the free kick, aimed at Faulkner, got his head to it too. I don't think he was expecting it. Tosh McKinlay came across in front of him, and Willie Faulkner was surprised that this opportunity opened up, and he wasn't over the ball. The header flew too high. 14 goals already this season for Faulkner. From Varai, played away by Wilkie. Now Tweed, almost an ever-present in the Dundee side this season. Dummied by Artero. The flick from Anand didn't quite come off, but I think you have an indication already about the popularity of this young man. Signed from Argentinian football, but born in Spain. McKinley's long through ball cut out by Tweed. That was Dundee, and chested down by Barry Smith. The angled ball into the corner for Anand, but it runs away from him. McKinley's throw on from Wright, lofted forward by Tweed. Wilkie has Madison alongside. Deflected off Mitchell. McPherson to Varai. Given away by Ali Mitchell. Gavin Ray intercepts. And it's a poor pass forward. Jockey Scott screening his eyes to see the play and almost looking as if he's wondering what happens at the end of the season as well. Long ball from Tweed, headed away by Hesse. And Willie Fulton was trying to get back to an onside position. Barry Smith played that off Ian Durant. Dundee throw. Bilio loses possession. Kilmarnock on the move with Durant at the centre of things, having a look. Then took too long. And robbed by Wilkie. That's a good ball from Willie Faulkner. Anand is onside. Corner kick. Anand's effort deflected behind. Kilmarnock caught out here by the early ball from Faulkner. No flag against Anand. And that was the cutout. Corner kick. Lee Wilkie making his presence felt in the box. Stephen Tweed as well. In from Artero. Good header away from Hesse. Played back by Barry Smith, but too heavily hit. Tweed to Anand. Durant's lost it. Down the line from Barry Smith. A push from Anand on Dundee, which he gets away with. Early ball in from Artero. And that's a clever pass out of defence from Gary Holt. Burke. Varai taking advantage of the fact that Wilkie slipped. Now McPherson. Ali Mitchell. Support from Durant. McKinley has it again. Beyond Holt. Left by Ray for Douglas. It's a big throw from Rob Douglas. Alex Burke, who's seen little of the top team action this season for Kilmarnock. Still only 22. Short with the pass for Varai. Lee Madison's clearance coming off Mitchell. It was out. Artero back to Barry Smith. Easy cutout for Dundee. The header away, that wasn't too clever. And drops for Gavin Ray. That's for Eddie Annan's head, but the offside flag was up against his run. Durant to McKinley, two former Old Firm players. Now Alex Burke. Played away by Varai just prior to the arrival of Tweed. Lucky with that clearance was Rob Douglas. It went straight to Artero. Paul Wright's the way off. Now Gus McPherson. Wright again. Stephen Tweed realised quickly there that Wright was thinking about the shot at goal. Artero's cross-field pass intercepted by McPherson. Mitchell. Good tackle from Madison. Laid off by Anand for Artero. Overlapping is Barry Smith. Gets it back from Ray. Tweed to Madison. Chested down by Faulkner, but it runs away from him. Sean Hesse watched it go behind. The 21-year-old defender in for Jim Laughlin this afternoon. Good header from Bilio, who was well up. McKinley's flick. But can't catch it. Madison's pass really spectacularly cut out by Mitchell. Tweed all the way up to Faulkner, and he was fouled by Dundee. This is the opportunity for Tweed and Wilkie to head forward. Bilio with the free kick to Madison. Finds its way through to Lee Wilkie. Touched back by McPherson. Poor clearance by Marshall. What can Willie Faulkner make of this? Cut out and kicked in amazingly by Hesse. Artero to Bilio. Spaniard to an Italian. Back from Faulkner to Lee Madison. Early ball in, offside flag up. Wouldn't have counted for Eddie Annand. A slick little move this from Dundee, but the offside flag got in the way. Artero and Anand try to combine. McKinley to Varai. The high boot. award goes to Lee Madison and against Paul Wright. Artero bouncing in front of Anand. Hits the deck, no free kick. Taken away by Gary Holt and now left to Ian Durrant. Jerome Varai. Now Burke. The playmaker, Durrant. Delicate little ball forward to Varai. Wilkie got there before him. Good defending from Dundee. Gus McPherson's pass. The offside flag was up. Cleared by Wilkie. Hesse's header. Too strong the pass from Smith. Dundee start again with Tweed. Faulkner losing out to Mitchell. Gus McPherson, long ball over the top for Jerome Varai, gets there before Tweed. Looking for support now, the Frenchman. Wright's measured pass for Holt. Gary Holt fouled by Patrizio Bilio, just a couple of yards outside the box. Got himself on the wrong side of Holt here. The two dead ball specialists, Ian Durrant and Paul Wright, are there. It's Durrant, headed away by Wilkie. Shooting chance possibly for McKinley, and goes the cross instead. Hugh Robertson away. It was Anand. Laid off by Burke. Gus McPherson. Paul Wright goes in. Nearly there. Good anticipation from Robert Douglas. Quickly off his line to make the save, the Dundee keeper. And further down the pitch, Dundee with a free kick. In from Madison. Flicked away by Dundee. McKinley stops it going behind for a corner kick. Up and under from Tweed. Charged down by Gavin Ray. It was the Frenchman's attempted clearance. Kilmarnock trying to play their way out of that tight situation. Wilkie looking for Anand. Nearly found him. Foul given against Stephen Tweed. He was certainly towering above right for the header, but there was the barge into the back. That's why Hugh Dallas blew his whistle. McKinley gets forward. Everything going through Durant. Alex Burke, neat little run. No free kick. That's poor play from Wilkie, failing to get the ball out of the danger area. Kilmarnock tried to keep some pressure on with Burke. With that sort of ball into the box, Bilio's clearance. Faulkner and Anand up for Dundee. Good play from Holt. Wilkie got there before Varai. Smith to Artero. Showed too much of it to Freddie Dundee, and he was quickly across to cover. The throw from Smith off Holt, and that's a Dundee corner kick. Quickly taken, the corner kick by Robertson, in from Smith, knocked away by McKinley. Lee Madison will plant this back into the box. That was Tweed. Away by McPherson. Free kick given, and Bilio will be booked for this challenge, and Jerome Varai. The first yellow card of the afternoon goes to the Italian midfielder who started his career with AC Milan. Here's the view of Robert Douglas at this free kick. Bilio with the header away. Artero to Ray. Now Anand. Dundee is at his back. Offside, Willie Faulkner. Ian Durant's pass, sliced. Smith into the feet of Faulkner, taken away from him though by Gary Holt. Ian Durant trying to create something, Paul Wright alongside. Gus McPherson's pass, that's beyond everybody. They've had a good run of Bobby Williamson's Kilmarnock. They've only lost 2 games out of the last 10, and that's given them a little bit of breathing space at the bottom of the SPL. ball from Gus McPherson. Ali Mitchell on side. It was just beyond him. And that allowed Rob Douglas to get off his line and thwart both Durrant and Mitchell. Sean Hessie's clearance, Lee Wilkie's header, and Willie Faulkner's layoff. Squeezed through the pass from Paul Wright to Alex Burke. Doing the mopping up in midfield was Billio. Kept in just by Wilkie, but his clearance ends up at the feet of Ian Durrant. Here's Ali Mitchell, off Tweed, knocked away by Wilkie. But we can't really get it convincingly clear, can Dundee? And Kilmarnock keep coming at them. Smith's lost it. Gavin Ray has it. Dundee now want to keep it. Robertson to Smith. Javier Artero. Pass deflected off Holt. Sean Hessie's long ball, and a delayed flag went up there on the far side against Jerome Verrai. Jockey Scott's having a good run of form. Dundee have lost only one of their last 7 games, but still the black cloud hangs over his head. He has a stay of execution to the end of the season, but what happens next as far as the Marr brothers are concerned? Gavin Ray trying to get away from Gary Holt. Hessie's clearance. Paul Wright being held surely by Stephen Tweed. Free kick quickly taken. Good tackle from Lee Wilkie as Jerome Verrai threatened to get through the middle. This was the grappling that was going on prior to that. Tweed against Wright. Meantime, another free kick is awarded to Kilmarnock, this time against Patrizio Billio, and it's taken quickly. Headed behind by Lee Wilkie. Corner kick. Ian Durrant will take the kick. Dundela and Hessie are both up. That's an easy catch for Rob Douglas. The game being squeezed in the middle and offside against Willie Faulkner. Burke, the driven cross Wilkie away, finds Anand. Back goes Holt. Flicked on by Dundee to McPherson. And now Sean Hesse. Chipped over the top, but no Kilmarnock teammate there for him. That's a poor kick out from Douglas. It almost set up Paul Wright. McKinley's pass intercepted by Artero. Offside. Direct play from Gary Holt. We welcome that certainly, but at the end of that he gave it away. Put his foot in the ball and it was Bilio's possession. Smith to Artero. Went inside and then out, away from McKinley. In low and hard towards Anand, but it was Sean Hesse who got there first. Kilmarnock lose possession. Madison's off and running. That pass won't find him from Wilkie. Faulkner's header, now Gavin Ray. Gary Holt competing fiercely for the ball in the midfield. Bilio, who plays the holding role in the Dundee midfield. Smith up for Anand. Three Kilmarnock shirts on about him. It's Dundee who took the ball away and touched back by Durant to Marshall, and the former Rangers player immediately wanted the ball back. Paul Wright's layoff for Tosh McKinley. Artero off right. Now Holt. Paul Wright gets on the ball. And then that's it, go over the touchline. Durant's cushion header for Tosh McKinley. An arm used by Jerome Barai to get the ball under control. Free kick not given. Played in by Burke, flicked on by Wright, away by Madison. Away off from Eddie Anand for Gavin Ray. It's a good tackle by Hesse. But an incident off the ball means a free kick a few yards further down the pitch. There was shirt tugging going on, spotted by Hugh Dallas against Eddie Anand. There was the tugging that was going on after the ball had gone. Free kick given. What can Dundee make of the set piece in from Bilio? That was a real chance for the opening goal, and Lee Maddison knows it. Timed his run well at the far post here. Unmarked, and that was inches wide. There wasn't anything Gordon Marshall could have done about this. Well played in by Bailio. The marking from Kilmarnock was pretty appalling, and Lee Maddison should have scored. Free kick given. Good play from Hesse. Good first time by McKinley. Barai's header. Out of play before Alex Burke could get down the touchline. Video played with the outside of the foot. Artero couldn't get on the end of it. That looked like handball by Varai. For the second time in a few minutes he escapes. McPherson gets it back from Mitchell. Left by right for Varai. On comes Mitchell. Now Burke. Laid off by Holt to McKinley. Paul Wright's made a late run! Kilmarnock have the lead. 10 minutes from half-time. Intelligent play from Wright. A good ball in from McKinley. And it's 1-0. I certainly can't remember a shot at goal from Kilmarnock previously, so that's their first serious attempt, and Paul Wright makes it count. His third goal in 5 games, a delicate little header, but it was the timing of the run and the quality of the ball in that made this goal. Well flighted by McKinley. Wright escaped the markers, and Douglas was beaten. 1-0 Kilmarnock. Maddison to Robertson. The tackle by Hesse on Faulkner wins it for Kilmarnock. McKinley, the creator of the opening goal. Now Burke. Pass just makes it to Tosh McKinley. And across and away from Varai. Maddison's clearance is poor. Possession handed back to Kilmarnock. That's in for Varai. He wanted Paul Wright to be tucked in behind him. By McKinley, picked up by Ray. Aimed at Faulkner, it's down for Hugh Robertson. Good challenge from Sean Hesse. Robertson about to have a crack at goal. And this was a well-timed tackle from the youngster. Might well have saved the equaliser there. kick given against Eddie Anand for leaving his boot in as Gus McPherson cleared. He may not have got a good view of it staring into the sun, but his team are ahead. It on towards Artero. Back goes Holt. Interception. And now McKinley. The offside flag was up against Varai. Stephen Tweed getting forward. Sliced clearance from Gordon Marshall. Not one of his better efforts. Madison for Faulkner. Corner kick. Stephen Tweed's up inside the last 5 minutes of the first half. Artero with the corner kick. Hesse unchallenged to head the ball away. Lofted back in, plenty loft as well from Madison. Tweed, Wilkie. Somehow Kilmarnock got that clear. As Lee Wilkie was winding up for the shot at goal. It was Tweed who nodded the ball on towards his fellow central defender. What a good tackle that was by Gary Holt. McKinley picks out right. The pair who broke the deadlock between them. Studs were showing from Tosh McKinley. Free kick conceded. Dundee trying to force an equaliser. Long ball from Barry Smith. Wilkie won it with his head against Gordon Marshall. Corner kick conceded, and this big fella is a fatal presence when he makes his way up for the set pieces, and Marshall was in trouble. Carefully placed by Patrizio Belio. The in-swinger aimed at the near post. McPherson away. Back in from Madison. And out for a goal kick. He's off to a fair old start because of his height, but he gets up well too. And the hands of Gordon Marshall couldn't get above Lee Wilkie's head. Away by Madison. Laid off by Faulkner for Robertson. Hoists it through the middle. Annan's after it. So too is Dundee. And his header went back to Gordon Marshall. Good header from Wright to Mitchell. Shrugs off Robertson. McPherson, Varai. Paul Wright didn't know too much about it. And that's harmless from a Dundee point of view, straight through to Robert Douglas. .45 minutes exactly played. Well, the weather was good and the football not particularly good. We were thankful for a goal, I think, in a first half that was pretty disappointing in terms of quality. Paul Wright, the scorer of the only goal. Tale of two headers here. Firstly for Dundee, it was Lee Maddison unmarked for Bilio's free kick. He should have at least hit the target and he should well have scored there as well, Maddison. Kilmarnock did here. Tosh McKinley's cross, the well-timed run from Paul Wright, and a little flicked header away from Robert Douglas. That's Paul Wright's 5th goal of the season, and it's the goal which separates these two at half-time. At Dens Park, it's Dundee 0, Kilmarnock 1. Kilmarnock get the match restarted. They're in a winning position. If they can hold on, they will cut the gap between themselves and Dundee to a single point. It's been a season to forget for Kilmarnock after last season's efforts, which of course got them into Europe. Dundee on the attack immediately. And a corner kick is won by Luna. A substitution for Dundee right at the start of the second half. Robertson's touch, and another corner kick for Dundee. Again Luna off Hesse. It's Javier Artero with the corner kick. Out comes Gordon Marshall. Thought he was blocked. Marshall reckoned he was fouled. Kilmarnock knocked the ball off the line. In from Gavin Ray. Essie's header away. That was a good strike from Vilio. Thankfully for Gordon Marshall, it was straight up the goalkeeper. And this has been a good spell of pressure from Dundee right at the start of the second half. Lost by Barney Smith. It's a poor ball played in by Burke. Paul White's flick, and Robert Douglas grabs it. Back from Smith to Douglas. Neat little header from Paul Wright. Durant's pass, Varai's run, and checked all the way by Lee Wilkie. Dindler trying to link up with Varai. It's crappy stuff. Graham Bain applying some pressure. Knocked out of play by Dundler. Corner kick. Again, Luna involved, conceded by the Frenchman Dindler. Under pressure from the Spaniard. Hugh Robertson with the corner kick. Smith does well. In from Robertson. There was pushing going on in the penalty box. There was a shove from Tweed on Dundler, and the free kick given. Way off from Varai to Wright. Neat little turn from Luna, off Gus McPherson it went. Dundee's throw. Bilio to Tweed. Lost it to Paul Wright, then won it back. And the free kick is given against Luna. Not sure he knew too much about that, but two Kilmarnock players did hit the deck. That's McPherson. The offside flag is up. Luna's head flick. Onto it was Hugh Robertson. And it was Gus McPherson who turned the ball out. Madison to Luna. Lee Madison again played in low. Gary Holt's clearance. Wilkie's header falls for Smith. This might work out for Gavin Ray, not quite. Madison's pass to Robertson. Dandela's header finds Durant. Late challenge by Luna on Durant, and immediately a yellow card. It was a wild challenge, that. And Ian Durant felt it. Tackle by Bilio on the right. Wilkie's pass. And now Luna is hurt. And told by Hugh Dallas to get back on his feet. Gary Holt. Alex Burke on the outside. Trying to get beyond Barry Smith, and it deflected off Burke for a goal kick. Artero's pass. Cut out by McKinley. Graham Bale. Good tackle by Freddie Dundee. Luna with good quick feet and wins a corner kick. They like him at Dens Park. 2 goals already, and he's started only 3 games. Dundee tells Hugh Dallas he's hurt. Hugh Dallas tells him to get off the pitch or to play on. Corner kick from Hugh Robertson. And left by Wilkie to Bain and vice versa. and the far post opportunity was gone. Marshall's kicker met by the head of Madison. Bilio aimed at Artero, did well to get on the end of it. Cleared by Hesse. Ray to Bilio. Kept in by Artero. Graham Bain would have done well to have squeezed that in from a tight angle. The Kilmarnock defence seemed to reckon this was going out, but it stayed up for Luna, forced it in, and Bain just off target with a shot. Did well to catch it, and just a half chance for Bain at the near post. The injured Dundee is off for Kilmarnock. Temporarily down to 10 men, Kilmarnock, as Dundee gets treatment. Gary Holt standing in at centre back with Dundee getting treated. Luna holds off Holt and Mitchell. Bilio to Barry Smith. Turning inside Varai. Onto it is Gavin Ray. Touched back by Hesse. Cleared by Marshall. Foul given against Jerome Varai. Dundee in a hurry. Barry Smith. Corner kick. A lot of pressing. Another set-piece opportunity for Dundee. In from Robertson. Yes, he took his time before clearing. Nice bit of skill from Ian Durant. And the ball was out. Bilio for Luna. Couldn't get much contact. There's to be no return to the pitch for injured Dundee. His replacement is Alan Mahood. Harai to Mitchell, back goes Bilio. McPherson down the line for Varai. Tried to hold off Madison. And the final touch was off the Frenchman. Lovely back heel from Luna for Bain into half-time subs. Year-old James Fowler is on for Kilmarnock. Alex Buck is off. Good play from Luna. Robertson claiming his run was blocked by Gus McPherson. Hugh Dallas singularly unimpressed with their claim. McPherson's free kick. Foul given against Lee Wilkie's challenge on Jerome Varai. Good bit of wrestling going on here between the pair. And Hugh Dallas got that absolutely right. The final flourish from Varai was unnecessary, but it was a free kick. Kilmarnock looking for the goal to make them feel a little bit more secure about the points. In from Durant, Wilkie away. Underneath it, Mitchell. Ray to Luna. Hesse won a good tackle. Fowler. He's not only quick, he's brave. If he's going to barge into the back of Stephen Tweed like that. Luna won the header. Hesse's clearance. Durant gets possession back for Kilmarnock. Played away by Hesse. Tosh McKinley with a long ball down the touchline. The teenager Fowler making a very direct run in the wide position and wins a free kick. Took on Bilio and Barry Smith. Durant with the free kick. Beyond Varai. Grabbed by Douglas. Only Luna is up for Dundee. Gary Holt with him. Foul on Patrizio Bilio. Tweed and Wilkie among those waiting. There's McPherson's header. Miss kick by Mahood. Lee Madison in pursuit. Away by Holt. Good header from Durant. Mitchell to Varane. Played their way out of that pretty well, Kilmarnock. Alan Mahood's pass. Kicked in by Ali Mitchell. Durant's pass doesn't find its way through. Javier Artero was surely being fouled by Fowler, appropriately enough. Smith for Bain. Lead back for Artero. Here comes Graham Bain again, flicked on by Ray. It's Luna, shot blocked, and Bain's effort into the side net. Dundee continue to press, but just can't find the equaliser. First attempt by Luna, following up was Bain, and again he finds the side net. Another wrestling match between Wilkie and Varane. Graphic demonstration from Udalis of what Lee Wilkie is doing wrong, in his opinion. Durant to right. Mitchell. Paul Wright involved again. McPherson into Durant. Trying to get it back from Mahood. The attack breaks down. Dundee try to spark a counter. And it's Kilmarnock on the move again. Gary Holt's header. Not a good one from Bilio. Played away by Tweed, straight to Tosh McKinley. In for Varane, gets turned. He did well to make himself a half chance there, Jerome Varane. At the end of it, the shot was a disappointment. This was good use of his body and a good turn away from Lee Wilkie. But the shot lacked venom. Tosh McKinley's header sets up Javier Artero, and McKinley did well to get that at the second attempt after a poor header. Here's Stephen Tweed, and that was Stephen Tweed with a forgettable shot at goal. Hugh Robertson heads off for Dundee. The home team make their third and final switch, and it's Stephen Boyack who will come on. Harrison almost getting himself into trouble. Flicked away by Wilkie. Another Kilmarnock throw. Missed by Wright. Cleared by Smith. Down the line from Ray to Luna. Lovely skill. Beaten though by a combination of Holt and Mitchell. But he's developing into a local hero already, is Luna. Fouled by Mahood as he played the ball away. About to deliver the cross was Boyack. The studs were showing from Alan Mahood. Here's the free kick from Bilio, punched away by Marshall, chased by Artero. Now Tweed, a prolific crosser of the ball. Artero again, a good clean strike. Unfortunately for him, it was straight at Gordon Marshall. Chested down, and it was a good connection on the right foot volley. The youngster Fowler cuts in. Almost got the break of the ball. And he has got a penalty kick. A moment to remember for the teenager, and a moment to forget for the Dundee defence as Fowler tried to force his way in. There was the tug at his shirt by Patrizio Bilio. Hugh Dallas was just a few yards away, and he pointed to the penalty spot. Dundee supporters find it hard to believe. And a penalty given, and it's Paul Wright. And it's 2-0. 15 minutes of the match left. And Paul Wright, who scored with a first half header, now makes it 2 from the penalty spot. There are people around the ground who might not believe why that penalty was given, but when they see it tonight on Sportsy Match of the Day, they will see the tug at the shirt of the teenager by Bilio. That's why the penalty was given. In comes Luna, and immediately Dundee pull a goal back. An incredible 60 seconds. The long ball forward from Barry Smith. It was 1 against 2 for Luna. Straight through the middle he went between Hesse and Holt, and Marshall was beaten. His third goal for Dundee, and the Spaniard Luna giving Gordon Marshall no chance there. It's now 2-1. He was smiling broadly, but a minute ago Bobby Williamson, now he's got a frown on his face because Dundee have played their way back into it. Josh McKinley with the cross, that was Mahood. In with the late run came Ali Mitchell. Corner kick conceded by Stephen Boyack. Ian Durant with the kick. Jerome Varai trying to win the header. Here he is again, but can't keep it in. Jockey Scott and Jimmy Bowen now with some hope that their team can get something out of this game. Madison under pressure. Jerome Varai and Paul Wright leave it to each other. Total breakdown in communication. Now Dundee get forward with Boyack. Holt got there before Bain. One goal from Lee Wilkie. Ray tries to win it. The last change for Kilmarnock is Jerome Varai off and Andy Smith on. Madison looking for help. Threaded through by Boyack for Wilkie. Tweed gets the better of Durant. Ray's layoff to Smith. McKinley's header away. Boyack through for Ray. Trying to work that out wide for Artero. Hoisted forward by Wilkie. Hesse away. Little flick from Durant from Mahood. Still going Alan Mahood. Not a belter of an effort at goal. Hope to Andy Smith, nods it down for Ali Mitchell. Alan Mahood, left Wilkie and Madison for Douglas, and Dundee are in a hurry. Wilkie for Luna. Driving onto the loose ball was Gavin Ray. Looking now to create something. That's good defending from Sean Hesse. Appearing alongside him is Ian Durrant. Through the middle goes Ali Mitchell. Now play swings the other way with Javier Artero and Graham Bain. Luna waits in the middle. In comes Boyack. First touch wasn't good. And that set up Gus McPherson to make the clearance. Touched back by McPherson for Holt. Thumps the ball away. Squeezed up the line by Smith. It's a Kilmarnock throw. Lofted forward by Ali Mitchell. Lee Wilkie's header away. Kilmarnock in a winning position and they don't want to lose it. Left by Mahood for Smith. Tweed got it clear for Dundee. Madison up to Luna. Gets the break of the ball off Mitchell. Boyack to Ray. These two have combined so well for Dundee this season, but that's not one of Ray's better efforts. Grossley overhit the pass. Marshall finds Mitchell. Now Smith picking off Madison. In goes Alan Mahood. Trying to pull that one back for Paul Wright on the penalty spot. Stephen Tweed cut off the route. Mahood unlucky here with a lightning break from midfield. Quick enough to get in ahead of Madison. And Wright was the target there. Here's the corner kick with Ian Durrant. No way through for Durrant. Bilio's clearance coming off ahead of Ali Mitchell. Well won by Alan Mahood. Strong challenge on Luna. Durrant loses possession. Stephen Boyack has it. Artero has made a run and kept himself onside. Two to aim at in the box. And that's nowhere near the box. Smith. And Dundee want to get on with it. Bilio with the free kick. McPherson's header away. Madison and Boyack. A miss-hit from Stephen Boyack as he tried to play a 1-2. Inside the last 2 minutes. Dundee searching for an equaliser. Bain's header, Hesse away. Now Durant, a little flick for Fowler. Stopped by Barry Smith's tackle. Push on Andy Smith by Stephen Tweed. Tweed reckons Smith was given as good as he got. And the free kick is Kilmarnock's. Laid back by Artero. Tweed's attempted clearance. This could be troublesome. Ian Durant's chipped effort off the top of the crossbar. This was sloppy defending from Dundee, and from Stephen Tweed this was highly dangerous. Left by Mahood for Durant. The curling dipping effort just inches away from making it 3-1. This would have settled any arguments about where the points were heading had this gone in, and it wasn't far away from Durant. Bilio for Luna. His pass intercepted by Hesse. Sliced clearance from Robert Douglas. Seconds of stoppage time played, a total of 3 minutes to be added. Mitchell's header away. Knocked further clear by Wright. Smith finds Boyack. Trying to knock that to the feet of Ray. He's never quite been at the pace of the game as Boyack since coming on as sub. Wright allowed that to drift out. Madison's throw. Graham Bain. Away off to Ray. Bilio. Tweed and now Smith. Bain's flick. McPherson's header. Luna with Boyack in behind. It was an easy pass on for Luna. Chose to go it alone and he made the wrong decision. Two and a half minutes added. much more than 30 seconds left, and this the last chance for Dundee to knock the ball into the Kilmarnock box and try to force an equaliser. Bilio with it, in towards Wilkie, headed away by Smith. That's full time, and 3 precious Premier points for Kilmarnock, and 1 for them by the goals of Paul Wright. A header in the first half, a penalty in the second half after Fowler had his shirt tugged in the penalty box, and despite the fact that Luna struck back quickly for Dundee inside a minute after Kilmarnock had scored their second, and he was certainly an entertainer. Dundee go down. Their home record, pitiful as it is, continues, and Jockey Scott continues to wonder what the close season will hold for him. On the pitch today, Dundee have lost to Kilmarnock by 2 goals to 1.